Welcome to another enthralling episode of When the Wife's Away. G'day guys, we have 4 grinders here to test today. They may all look like Makita, but one is an imposter. This video idea came about when testing the new 40 volt max Makita angle grinder. It supposedly has the same RPMs as this one, and this one has the same RPMs as this one. Yet they all sound quite different. I'll show you what they sound like in a moment. First, I'll just tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to check the RPMs on each one. This one is variable speed, so we'll check the different speeds on that. It's a relative speed test because I don't know how good this tacky speed deal is. I have taken the guards off all of these grinders. There's 2 reasons for that. The first is wind resistance and anything that may cause disturbance to the speeds of these tools. The second and most important reason is I know it's going to piss off the safety police. Have you noticed that the test bench is looking a little flashier than usual? It's carpeted. Oh, this is the wife's bench. There's too much shit on my bench today. So while she's not here, I thought I would muscle in on her territory. So our test subjects today are the dodgy-1, the DGA504, the GA005G, and the XAG12. This is an American version, this is a New Zealand version, this is a New Zealand version, this is... These 3 tools will all be running on 5 amp hour 18 volt batteries. They are all freshly charged, of course. The back one is a 36 volt tool, so it takes 2 of those batteries. And this one, of course, is the new 40 volt, and it is running on a 4 amp hour battery. These 3 grinders in the front here are all 5-inch grinders, and these 3 grinders are all rated at 8,500 revolutions per minute. The one at the back is rated at 7,800 roundabouts per minute. The non-Makita. The 18 volt. The 40 volt. As you can see, they all sounded quite different, seeing as they're all supposed to be the same speed. I'm presuming that the figures that they get of 8,500 are running with nothing on it, just the spindle. We'll be testing them first up with a Z60T BF 125mm by 8mm cutting disc. I will use the same new disc on every grinder, and it has this reflective tape here to check the rotations per minute. First up, we will test the non-Makita. Just a whisker under 6,400. So this one, no great surprise, is off spec, 2,100 RPMs down. Every disc or wheel you put on here is going to create different amounts of friction with the air, so I'm guessing grinding wheels are going to spin a bit slower than thin cutting wheels, that sort of thing. We'll test that in a minute. But next up, we have the 18 volt. Well, that was surprising, only just over 6,700. That's still a long way short. How will the 40 volt do? So just under 8,000 on that one. That's a bit more what I would expect. Losing 500 RPM for the disc, that's acceptable. But quite disappointed with the 18. And this one, well, I mean, you know, that was to be expected. Now, the 36 volt at the back. Now I'm thinking this one may be more accurate than the other ones with the numbering, because I've got such a small disc on here, it won't make as much difference as if I had a large one on, which this is rated for. But we'll see what happens. Just over 6,600. Interesting. So don't believe everything you read printed by these tool manufacturers, and what's stated on the tool may be a load of bunk. So will the extra mass of a 6mm grinding disc make a difference to these results? Let's take a look. $6,400. That's what it was last time, wasn't it? No difference. While I'm holding this model, I'll take you through some of the other specs. So this one's about 5,150 on its lower speed, 5,735 on its second speed, and 6,400 on its top speed. No difference. And on the 40 volt, no difference. What about if we put a smaller diameter wheel on there? So this is exactly the same type of cutting disc, but as you can see it's been worn away. There's not much left of it. Let's see how much difference, if any, it makes to the speed. Yeah, we got about 50 RPM more out of her. What about the genuine Makitas? The 18 volt. Didn't seem to make any difference on that one. Let's try it on the 40. Lock and load. Well, there we have it. It didn't have any effect on the top speed of these two impact drivers, but the cheapie, surprisingly enough, it did affect, probably because it just doesn't have the grunt, so the more resistance there is on that, the more it's going to make a difference, but you would have thought that that would have then affected it in the other direction. Anywho, 50 RPM is probably just within the plus and minus of me holding this in the right bloody place anyway. So in the end, the new 40 volt, about 500 down on the figure listed on the side. We'll put that down to it being just the spindle speed and maybe the inaccuracy of this. So without anything on it, probably spins at about 8,500 under absolute perfect conditions, probably in a vacuum. This one here though, quite disappointing, my trusty old 18 volt. What was that? 1,800 rip'ems down. That's a big amount. 500 I can handle because it may be, yeah, like I say, a combination of that and other things. But 1,800? That's way out of whack. And this one, well, who cares, because it's, yeah. So let me know what you think about those results down in the yarn section. And I guess I'll see you on another one. If you've got any ideas for anything else you want to see the speeds of, to see whether these numbers are really true or not, then put that down in the comments as well, and we'll perhaps have a look at them on a future video. So thanks for watching, guys. Now that I've got that video done, I can probably sell my old 18 volt Makita. I wonder if there's anyone out there who wants it. Cheers, guys. See you on another one. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that stuff, you know. Helps keep everything chugging along.